Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Far Above Rubies today. I'm so very glad that each of you are here. We are taking a look today at Romans chapter 13, verses 8 through 10, and we're going to talk about the thought, this one commandment. We're going to read those verses together right now, starting at verse 8, and they say this. Owe nothing to anyone except for your obligation to love one another. If you love your neighbor, you will fulfill the requirement of God's law. For the commandments say, you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, you must not covet. These and other such commandments are summed up in this one commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does not do wrong to others. So, love fulfills the requirements of God's law. I love this so much. Love fulfills the requirements of God's law. In Mark chapter 12, Jesus was asked what the greatest commandment was, and his response was that it was to love God with all that you are, okay? With everything that you have, with your very being, your essence, love God. And he says the second is like unto the first, to love your neighbor as yourself. He says, upon these two commandments, all the rest hang. And this description in Romans chapter 13 from Paul tells us why. He says, because if we love our neighbor, when we love our neighbor, we cannot do wrong to them. That's the definition of love, that we will not wrong that person. We love them. We will go out of our way for them. We will show grace and mercy and compassion because that's what love does. We will be patient and kind and not demanding. Think of our other passage, okay? In 1 Corinthians. Love does no wrong to that person. And so when we love them, the law, the commandments of God will immediately be fulfilled in love, all right? The commandments, the two greatest commandments, when we love God and love people, the other commandments will be taken care of if those things are genuine. That's why these two are the greatest commandments. It's why all of the other commandments hang on these two. We can try and not commit adultery, not covet, not steal, not murder. We can try to honor and obey and put no one else before, and we can try to do all of these things. But if we simply love God, really love God, not love an idea of God, not love who He is from a distance, not love in the smallest, shallowest form of the word, but love Him, active word, action word, love God, and we action word love people, if those are our mindset all the time, then the rest of the commandments will be fulfilled. We will not covet if we love our neighbor because we prefer our neighbor. We want them to be happy. We think that's so wonderful that they have that nice, beautiful thing, that this great thing happened to them because we love them. We desire good things for them, not desire their good things for ourselves. We will not commit adultery if we love our neighbor because we know the tragedy that comes from adultery. We know the broken lives and homes and marriages that come from adultery. We will not go against the other commandments God laid out for us if we get those first two, those greatest two, right. Love our neighbor as ourselves. Love God with everything that we are. One thing I love about the statement, love your neighbor as yourself, is it does not say, love your brother as yourself, love your sister as yourself. It does not specifically refer to the family of God. Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. That means your neighbor who doesn't think like you, your neighbor who doesn't dress like you, your neighbor who doesn't go to your church or any church. Love them like you love yourself, not just love the one that thinks like you, talks like you, acts like you, dresses like you, goes to church like you love yourself. No, love your neighbor, those who are near you, okay? Love them as you would love yourself. The scripture even goes on further. Jesus goes on further to say, love your enemies and your friends. Love your neighbors Love your enemies. Love your brothers. Love your sisters. Love people. There is no exemption. He covers all the bases when he says, love your enemies, love your neighbor, love the family of God, love yourself because I love you. That covers everyone. Love everyone. When we truly grab hold, when we wrap our hearts around, when we get it inside of our spirits and deep down in our bones to love God and love people, then we will begin to build up instead of tear down. We will begin to encourage instead of being the discouraging factor in someone's life. We will cheer people on to success and really mean it. We will prefer our brother, meaning, hey, you know what? This is an opportunity and I think you should take it. This is a blessing and I hope that you get it. Not that we should never get good things, but we prefer them. You go first. I yield to you. We will serve willingly. Not, yeah, I guess. All right, yeah, I can be there. Just tell me what time. I'll try. No, we will serve willingly. What can I do? Tell me what I can do. No, I'm fine is not a correct answer. Tell me what I can do. We will serve willingly because we love our neighbor. We will give generously because we don't just like people. We love people. And so we will go out of our way to give. And I'm not just talking about putting money in an offering plate at church. I'm saying we will give generously of our time, of our energy, efforts, resources. We will give generously to those who deserve it and those who don't. We will give generously. We will forgive readily because we love those who have asked forgiveness and those who haven't because we love. It's hard. Loving is not easy. We will show grace and we will show mercy and we will show compassion again where it is deserved and where it is not. Do you know that you can only show grace where it's not deserved? That is the definition of grace. If it's deserved, then it's not grace. If we begin to wrap our hearts and wrap our minds, wrap our very faith and walk with the Lord around love God and love people, all the rest of the commandments will be taken care of. All of the other Christian duties that we like to check off of our list, they will be taken care of. If we can just get love God and love people, not love people with all this fine print underneath, not love people if they fall into this category, not love people if they fit into this mold, not love people if I like them. If we just get in our hearts to love God and love people, this one commandment, love your neighbor as yourself, will fulfill everything else. Owe nothing to anyone except for your obligation to love one another. If you love your neighbor, you will fulfill the requirement of God's law. For the commandments say you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, you must not covet. These and other such commandments are summed up in this one commandment. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to others, so love fulfills the requirements of God's law. It's that simple. It's that hard, and it's that simple. Go and read Romans chapter 13, verses 8 through 10, and if no one has told you lately, you are loved, and you are cherished, and you are valuable. You have beautiful and tremendous worth, my sweet friend, and that worth is far above rubies. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. God bless you.